We should be live, Shawn. Just in case anybody is actually watching this now or later, this is our first time doing a little interview on Google Hangouts, and this is Seriously Shawn. And I'll let him introduce himself and his podcast, which I'm a huge fan of.
Cool. Well, thanks. My name's Shawn Villiers, and I co-host a podcast with a guy named Aaron Moritz called Srsly Wrong. That's about how contradictions aren't usually actually contradictions, and it's about the way that we use language, and it's about politics and religion, and having fun and being yourself. And it's about world peace. Really importantly, it's about world peace, kind of very seriously, but also, I don't know, I feel like all of these summaries just like make it seem like things that it's not.
It's tough. It is tough, and that's why I shied away from trying it myself. I let you take the first stab at it. And let me try. Let's see. Yeah, because the way you did describe it, it did sound pretty serious. I mean, like politics, world peace, religion. But I think you take seriously. You do take serious, very relevant topics and themes, but you present it are very articulately, but not too seriously. Like it's very accessible to most people, I think. I mean, I don't think of myself as a very articulate or very, intellectual person or academic. Maybe academic is better, but I really do enjoy the podcast. It's you guys. In addition to being real smart, you're also some really sarcastic assholes, and I don't know. I enjoy it.
Thanks a lot. Yeah.
Okay, and was there anything else you wanted to say?
Oh well, yeah. We really enjoy doing it for sure, and yeah. I don't know. I'm glad to hear that it comes off as accessible. But like I don't know, because it started just like by, I don't know, we do the comedy bits and stuff, and we try to really keep it light, but at the same time we're really legitimate. Like, I noticed that you're wearing a WikiLeaks hoodie, and we're really like into WikiLeaks as individuals. Like, talk to us about WikiLeaks in a bar, and we'll talk forever about it. And like, but just, I think a lot of people mistake being serious for being solemn, and you don't need to, like, statistics are horrifying and really bad things happen all the time, and you can understand that without like really get arguing for a type of I guess disinvestment or detachment from the world that you employ strategically to be an effective agent. And being like, I think comedy is a really good way to understand things without it being crushing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, totally agree.
Julian Assange has been in that hole for how long? Julian Assange has been trapped for, I'm sure the date is ridiculous. Yeah.
It is crazy. Oh man, yeah, I could talk to you about WikiLeaks for a while, along with basic income and other things, and maybe we'll get to that. But also, yeah, at the same time, like, this is my first time actually seeing Shawn, seeing you, obviously. We talked a little bit through email, but so yeah, I just wanted to take advantage of this opportunity just to meet you, because like how you said, you could talk about WikiLeaks and some other subjects at a bar for hours. Like, I'm the same way, and I don't know, maybe it's different for you, but I don't find as many people that are that into it.
Yeah, well, it's people have certain barriers to the world of, like, thinking about politics, and if people who have kind of had the door opened and they see the world in these political terms already, they never go back. But people can see that, and so they don't want to open the floodgates of politics. So people have different defense mechanisms, and But like I think that they are interested in the issues, and in the right context, you can kind of get people to.
Yes.
But
Yeah.
it is
Yeah.
like, but randomly people on the street like talking about WikiLeaks, it's not something I wouldn't go person to person being like, hey,
Uh,
WikiLeaks, like.
yeah. You know what? I think that's one of the reasons. Like, I like the topic of basic income so much because
Mhm.
it's because that really is something that it's almost impossible for somebody to not be interested in it once if you introduce it to them uh, accurately, because it is relevant to everybody. Everybody's in a situation where their income is just survival, and I don't know. I'm not doing a great job explaining this now, but
It's the crazy thing about Mincome too is there's so many names for it and there's so many variations on the same concept that have existed for a long time. Like I think this they used to call it the citizens dividend in the 1800s, and I think the first use of the term credit card was in reference to a citizens dividend card in a science fiction novel. Um, it's an interesting thing because it's got a long history, but it's becoming really, I think, more palatable in the present. Like I've noticed since I think I found out about it during its existence during Occupy, and then compared then till now, like talking to people about it, people are much more willing to admit that they don't know enough about economics to say that it wouldn't work. Whereas back like when Occupy happened, everyone would be like, "No, that's crazy! Like I would never." I swear, there's like a guy with glasses somewhere who would insist that is impossible.
yeah. Yeah, that really is a common argument, I get. Yeah, and but yeah, obviously, yeah, it is obviously ridiculous because people are arguing that, like, I can't explain why that wouldn't work, but just like you said, I'm pretty sure like some banker, some economist wouldn't think would work.
Yeah, and it usually cuts that direction because people are very cynical and nihilistic, and it's like a cool thing to be a sunglass warrior and say like, who gives a shit? Who like, oh, whatever. I just smoke my cigarettes, like whatever. Like I'm no disrespect to people who smoke cigarettes, but the archetype exists. I think I'm describing a real thing.
Yeah. Can I ask you a little bit about the? I'd like to hear your formula and workflow for the podcast, because I mean, I've fantasized about doing a podcast. I think everybody does, because it is just talking. That's something that everybody can do. Pressing the record button, people can do that. But obviously, there's a lot more that goes into it. But because I think everybody does have something they want to say. It's a common thing for people to consider. I kind of want to do a podcast. What if I could do a podcast? So can you just tell us what your process is, you and Aaron, or your formula, your workflow?
Oh well, we mix it up a lot. We just try to get the content. Like sometimes we'll sit together without a plan, and then just something will kind of arise out of us talking to each other. Or other times we'll make very specific plans, like get quotes ahead of time, or like read all the Wikipedia articles and all their sources on something and have it all planned out. But as far as like, we do a weekly release schedule, which is pretty. It's challenging for a high content podcast, but it's also something that I think both of us are able to edit and animate and cut videos together. So we're both able to kind of split the work that way. And so we take turns. I've been editing more recently, but for a while Aaron was editing more. But yeah, sometimes we meet up on Thursdays around 4 o'clock, and then we'll either record one episode or two episodes, or if we have episodes we want to release soon that we need more content for. Sometimes we'll like have a recording session for 40 minutes or half an hour, and like look at the actual content of what we recorded and say like most of this doesn't really meet our standards, but we can take out the best clips and then do another episode on the same subject and cut them together, and you can't really tell it was recorded different days. But I ideally like to think of it as like a pretty polished thing at the end of it, like
It
try
is.
to cut out ums and stuff, and Well, thank you. I'm so legitimately flattered. No one like there's like we have hits, but like I see that we have hits, but I don't talk about the podcast with people who like it that much, or like, or no, people will say like, oh, I like this episode or something, but I don't know. I'm like, I feel really bashful because I like my podcast and I'm glad that you like it.
Well, I think it's feedback's really huge. I mean, when I get, as you know, I do some stuff on YouTube, and yeah, the comments they really do, mean a lot. They do humble me, and they help a lot because they see what's working, what's not, and they just confirm, when I, sometimes, I just to get that validation, like, oh, you were onto something there, or something.
Yeah, it's interesting. Like being face to face makes like I read comments that are positive, and that's like obviously really nice and meaningful. But in a face to face interaction, being like, I like what you did, it's like, oh gosh, like, but I really liked your income video that you sent us. I thought it was really on point and kind of like, again, also in the same vein, very accessible, making these really clear points. I wanted to see if I could make you bashful, but.
Well, oh, there you did it. You made me giggle, Shawn. Cool. Let's see what else. So you will really you will just start. Will you start recording like just when you get with Aaron, or will there come a time you'll brainstorm first and then start recording? Just curious.
It depends. We've tried different things. Sometimes we'll have it recording before we have anything planned out, or recording while we're planning out. But
yeah,
in general, it also depends, like, because we record in Aaron's house, and so we also kind of record around the schedule of his boyfriend who cohabitates with him, and so we don't want to be imposing on his space. At this point. But we got this. We did something interesting yesterday, which is I've got this portable recorder, and we went to the mall for an upcoming episode and recorded some live on the scenes at the mall kind of podcasting. I don't know if it's going to work out. I haven't listened to the audio yet, but it was an interesting experiment. We want to try doing more stuff like that.
Cool. So it was kind of like a man on the street thing, like interviewing random people, or
yeah. Well, we met some people who the mall security told us that we weren't allowed to ask people
to. Of course they did.
But they told us that after a girl approached us and was like, "What are you guys doing? Can I talk to you?" And it turns out that she hates GMOs, among other opinions. So we got some good opinions out of her. I don't know. I don't know what the final episode's going to look like at this point, but I'm excited for the just the absurdity of going into these bizarre situations.
Yeah,
sorry, I was just going to say that it's like a spoiler. I don't know if we're going to use it, but we went into an HMV and just loudly talked about stealing all the music in front of people. Like, I don't know if that registers in the comedy format of like.
Hold on, is the HMV a music store? I don't know.
Oh yeah, it's a music store. Maybe it's just a Canadian thing, but
okay,
it stands for His Master's Voice. And the old logo is like I know it's like a media store. It sounds super Illuminati or something.
Yeah.
But it's like there's a dog. Their old logo is like a dog looking up at a gramophone. But now it's just known as HMV, but it stands for His Master's Voice, which I always love that kind of like weird conspiracy sounding stuff.
That is really freaky. That's like the NSA being, their logo is fucking hiding.
Yeah. Yeah, or the octopus.
Yes.
Yeah, nothing can hide from our reach.
Yeah. Let's see. I really should have mentioned this earlier because I think this is something a lot of people will get a kick out of, and that is I saw your animations that you've done. May have been a while ago, but you did the animation for the Ultimate Showdown. Is that correct?
Yeah, I did that.
This is a famous, very, very popular back in the day animation where the superheroes and monsters of all kinds of movies, have come together and just duke it out. And yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah, yeah. I did that when I was 14 with this guy that I knew through some internet forums named Neil Ciceriga, I think is how his name is pronounced. But he also did Potter Puppet Pals, and he invented
Oh,
animutation, the genre of internet content. But
whoa! What is that? What mutation? I don't know.
animutation is where there's like cutout heads. It's kind of like Terry Gilliam cutout heads, except a lot like crazier and sillier, and usually set to like J-pop with a lot of
Oh,
Colin Mockery heads.
like the jib jab thing? Like, is that? I'm trying to.
Kind of. It's less coherent than that. It's more like,
Okay,
but yeah, if you search up animutation, it was really big on the internet in
mutation.
like 2001, 2002 or something.
All right.
But yeah, Neil's a prodigy. He also makes tons of like really hilarious music, and yeah, I was like this 14-year-old kid who
Learned
kind of
Flash. Is it Flash? It looked like it. Lose you? Something's frozen. Shawn, are you there? You are frozen on my screen, and I can't hear you. Hmm. Well, um, let's see. Why don't you text me if you're still there? And if anybody is, maybe I should just stop this now. We could do a part two if we want. Yeah. Hmm. Mm. All right. Well, I guess I'll stop it there, and if we want to talk more, we can talk more. Thank you, Shawn.